Another very important part of the fundamentals of beginning horn playing is knowing what to do with the tongue. This part of horn playing can be a great mystery to students and teachers because it's one of the things that we can't see. There's no visual way to really know what's going on inside of the mouth, so we have to base most of what we perceive as good or bad tonguing on what we hear and what the students tell us that they feel. The tongue, unfortunately, because of those things, is very important in good tone production, so it's important to talk about what to do with the tongue and where it should be. I usually describe the tongue when students are playing in a resting position, i.e. whole notes and other things like that, as just resting in the bottom of the mouth. Now that's not to say that it rests in the same place in the mouth for high notes and low notes. So the tongue actually creates a great variable in range and can help the range a lot. So we need to talk about where the tongue is in the high range and where the tongue is in the low range. A really good way to do this with young students without getting too technical, because it's very easy to get overly technical, is to talk about tongue placement and vowel syllables. So if I'm thinking of a higher note, I'm going to think of an E or something that gets my tongue higher in the roof of my mouth to create a faster airstream. So rather than describe velocity and where the tongue is and let's look at the shape and all of this, simply have your students say various words that gets their face in the shape of a horn embouchure with a good vowel that gets the tongue nice and high. E, P is a good one for the high range. So if I'm buzzing, T is going to get my tongue nice and high for a faster airstream. It's going to help that high range come out a lot better. The thing that you want to watch out for in the high register and using the tongue higher in the mouth is to not close off the buzz or the aperture where the air actually passes through the lips. They do not go in hand. We have to keep supported corners and a nice open aperture or open hole for the air to pass through while getting the airstream fast behind it. So it's sort of a two-part function there. And the converse is the low range. We need to come up with something that gets the tongue nice and low without relaxing everything on the outside for the low range. As I go low, my tongue drops. So a word that might be good for the low range is an aw, where your tongue is dropping to the bottom of the mouth. So goes from high note to a low note. So my airspeed is going from very fast to very slow, not because I'm blowing less air. That's a great misconception. When you play low, your airspeed slows down because we want the vibration to slow down. The airspeed should slow down not because we are using less air, but because the airspeed is slowing on a larger oral cavity or a bigger vowel that gets the tongue down and the inside of the mouth open better. Always using good air. We always use good air, always nice, deep breathing and lots of fuel.